I found it to be something that I was stimulated as a subject matter, as an exploration of an idea of what's potentially going on in some of these countries, and the fact that some sort of environmental thriller could be, woven into that idea was stimulating to me. The character had the nature of someone trying to make amends for things that he had done in the past, and struggling to somehow turn his life around. Even though it's evident to him that he had done things in his life that, as stated in the movie, that are unforgettable and unforgivable. There's still, what are you going to do with the rest of your life, So all those kind of thematics to me, were very interesting, Yeah, I got involved early on in the production and working on the script with Damian, and they asked me to do that, and making movies is a very collaborative process, and it's something that I enjoy very much. So. Well, I knew Eva. We had worked together before, and she was a friend, and obviously when she was an easy.
Prey.
Yeah, well, she was, in the sense that she was. The idea of having her in the movie was, everybody was obviously very excited about that potential. So. And I'm always eager to work with Eva. She's fantastic. She's a very great actress, bright, and she's a real team player. She really goes after it. So I really enjoy her company and her work. So, and Forrest I had worked with before in another film, and I'm a great admirer of his, of course. And when we were looking for someone to fulfill that character, who was had to have a certain sort of like Martin Luther King quality, not necessarily because he was African American, but in the sense that there is a spiritual side to the character, a sort of a passive, non-violent aspect to the character, which later on he sort of breaks out of necessity. But you wanted an actor that can sort of go into that world and capture that persona, and Forrest has a natural quality that way that I think is very effective. The process of the script, you try to be as concise as possible. I mean, you can spend hours talking about these things, but there is a genre to the movie. The movie has to have a flow and a direction and a rhythm. We're not doing a documentary. It's not a 6-hour miniseries. So the movie has to have a natural arc that services the genre, and also trying to also be truthful to the subject matter that you're tackling. So it's not completely over the top. One of the things I said to Damian when he first approached me was, I said, all this action stuff, it has to, feel like it can actually really happen. That it's not just, people, explosions, and, there has to be, the action of the gunfights and the shooting, whatever. It has to just be simple and real, whatever really could happen, and that's the way we do it. We shouldn't do anything that's over the top, because it's not that type of movie. It's not a James Bond movie, and it's another, and nor do you have the budget to do that kind of movie. So why turn it into that? Just keep it, efficient and as real as possible. Initially, we're only going to go there for some exteriors, and I convinced them that if you're going to go for a day, why not go for a week and actually get in the jungle, and I had shot several movies there, and I had a lot of relationships, and there were some tax incentives there that we were able to, tap into, and it's great working down there. And I think it gives the movie a real balance of the two different locations, sort of the ice, the coldness and the severity of Canada in sort of like wintertime compared to where we end up in the Dominican. Well, these things are happening. There's no doubt that people, water is big business, just like oil, or any mineral rights to mineral rights in any country, and the exploitation of those rights. I mean, these are big, potentially big business opportunities for people. And obviously, in certain countries, those rights belong to the government, but in other countries, there are people come into and try to capture those rights, you know, or at least be in association with the government on those rights. So, in any movie you make, you want people for a film to have resonance, you know, and make people, you know, think about the movie a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks after they've seen it, you know, and to people to say I really enjoyed that picture. I recommend it. I mean, I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything in a film. You know what I mean? I want them to have their own genuine reaction to it. It's not, you know, I don't have an agenda of propaganda or anything like this in any film I do, no matter what it is. But what you do want, I think, is like I said, for a movie to affect people, you know, whether it is to make them cry, to think, to make them laugh, depending on what kind of movie it is. But you want it to have that kind of resonance, and you know, that's all you can do. You know, it's like Dizzy Gillespie said, there's only 2 types of music: good music and bad music. So you just try to make good movies. That's all. Well, the movie was very physical. You know, there's a lot of, we worked, especially in the jungle. We were working, you know, in the middle of the jungle, in the heat, and in the summer, and on inclines, and you know, but it was nothing that you found that was overwhelming. But you know, there's always challenges when you're in those environments. You know, it's not like you can go back to a trailer or anything. There is no trailer. You're in the middle of the jungle. You know, there's no porta potties in the jungle. You know.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Aunque tú no estés ya junto a mí, tu recuerdo sigue en pie.